Broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. This edition of Gun Guy Radio is supplied by Alien Gear Holsters. AlienGearHolsters.com.
Welcome to episode 145 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challand, and this is your weekly dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Well, the holiday season is upon us. Thanksgiving is going to be here before we know it, and then Christmas, and it got me thinking that, we have this handy-dandy Amazon affiliate link here at the network that will take you directly to Amazon's homepage, and you can shop and check out like normal, but it gives a small percentage back to the network, and collectively all of you doing this, giving a small percentage of your sales. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but collectively it really, really helps out the network. So if you can just bookmark firearmsradio.tv/Amazon, firearmsradio.tv/Amazon, and next time you shopping for this holiday season on Amazon, avoiding the stores, avoiding all the crazy people at the mall, it helps out the network a little bit, gives a little bit to a pro-gun cause by buying those holiday gifts on Amazon. So I really appreciate it. And this week we have a really great interview with Al Millhouse of Ratworks. He's the inventor of the MRX knives and the ZRX Tavor suppressor. So very cool interview, and we talk a lot of business as well, which I always really enjoy, and we may have talked more business than knives or silencers, but it's a lot of entertaining content. Al's a really cool guy, and apparently not too far from me here in Northern Illinois, so I'll have to get together with those guys sometime here next year when I'm not so crazy busy. But so without any further rambling, just a reminder again. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say about the Amazon thing is that if you're purchase anything for your business, if you're a business owner, anything like that, also please consider buying through that Amazon affiliate link, firearmsradio.tv/Amazon, or clicking any of the Amazon banners on the website will do the same trick. And, people have asked me before, mobile devices, if you have the Amazon app, how do you purchase through the affiliate link through the Amazon app on your phone or iPad? To my knowledge, there's no way to do it, but what you could do is to put everything in your cart you want and then do the final checkout on your desktop, laptop, or through the browser on your phone or whatever, and then that will do the trick as well. If you already have stuff in your cart, click through our affiliate link, and then that does the same net benefit. So. Welcome back to the Gun Guy Radio main topic, and on the line we have Al Millhouse, the CFO of Ratworks and inventor of the MRX knives and the ZRX Tavor suppressor. Hey, Al.
Hi, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for taking some time out and joining us.
Yeah, well, thank you.
So if I don't lose my voice here, we'll be good to go. But what is the chief financial officer doing inventing knives and gun stuff?
Well, I was one of the founders of the company. Bill McKay and we were both interested in kind of different hobbies at one time. Bill liked military firearms, and I had stuff that was a little bit older. I was more into the artillery side of things. I used to go to Fort McCoy and fire cannons, live fire cannons with the Paulson brothers.
Cool.
And Bill, he always liked going to Knob Creek, and one year he invited me, and cannons got kind of heavy as I got older, and the Paulson brothers got older, and we thought, the next round of fun would be machine guns. So we went about the task of getting our Class 2 weapons manufacturer and our SOT. Bill already had his FFL and, started the company Ratworks. Our formal name or our proper name is Research and Testing Works Incorporated. And since then we started building machine guns, suppressors.
So what would you say Ratworks' bread and butter is?
Well, our bread and butter is distributing firearms, building suppressors, building gun parts for the firearms industry. We also own another company called Custom Seal and Rubber Products. We build robotic fingertips for the automotive industry, automation. We build products for aircraft. We do just a little bit of everything. Air cleaners. We build the tooling for like those rubber ends on your air cleaners that you see on your cars. We build the tooling for those. Molds. We have a full CNC machine shop. We're multifaceted. The way I put it is, you put a lot of branches on the tree, and that way, if one business is a little slower than the other, they all tend to pick up, and we cross-train a lot. There's people that can run from one side of the business to the other, and it works out well. Some people stay in the same place all the time, but other people do move around.
That's pretty awesome. I'm actually in the process of building a few businesses, and I kind of have the same concept there. They're in completely different industries, but if one would be doing well, maybe the other one wouldn't be doing as well, or if they're both doing well, then that's, bonus.
Yeah, exactly. And we have the machines, so we can run as a full machine shop, and we do job work. But the thing we really like to do is the firearms and the knives. That's really, that's where our heart is. The rest of the stuff pays the bills.
I know what that's like. I'm working on something that pays the bills right now. So we'll get into maybe the suppressor a little bit and the knives. I got to handle one of your knives recently. I was really impressed. But, something I usually ask all my interviewees is, let's go way back. How did you first get into guns, knives, firearms? Was it as a kid? Did you grow up in a household with guns? Yeah,
I grew up on the farm, and, guns were a normal, everyday guns and fireworks. And, you like to shoot stuff and blow it up. Oh, and, yeah. A good Saturday morning was when Dad said, let's go burn a car.
Burn a car?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Burning cars are, that's great fun. Cars really burn good. Motorhomes burn good, too. They don't like you to do that anymore, but when I was a kid, it didn't matter. Yeah, we had a good time. Grew up on the farm. Basically, nothing mattered. Bunch of good, clean fun. And awfulest feeling in the world was when that last 22 round was gone. Wondered how long it was going to be till you had some more. I was always mechanical as a kid. I could fix pretty much anything. Actually started driving when I was 8. Anything that ever broke around the neighborhood, I could fix it. I was a cabinet maker for almost 30 years. Bill was a mechanic for a Caterpillar dealership. And I was actually friends with Bill's dad before I knew Bill very well. And I used to have this every Saturday after Thanksgiving. We would get together, and I'd take the cannons out. We'd shoot cannons all day Saturday. And it was, we'd invite guys from all over. We never fired blanks. We always fired, bolts or live rounds. We usually go into a stone quarry, and we'd tether a car, get it running, let it run around in circles, and then shoot at it till it wouldn't run anymore. And basically, we'd shoot at it till it was unrecognizable anymore. everything was, fair game. Old junk houses, silos, cars, everything. Everything we could think of to shoot at. I built one cannon that would fire bowling balls, and
wow.
And then I had a 3.5-inch gun or a 6-pound gun that we always fired. We did that for years, and then he invited me to Knob Creek one year, and we went down there, and I met a guy on the firing line that had a cannon there, and I had brought some pictures along with me, and I showed him the pictures of being at Fort McCoy, and he was like, wow, that's pretty neat. And he said, you need to come down here and come with us like the week before Knob Creek. And he said a lot of the vendors and everybody brings their own stuff down, and he said it's pretty relaxed, and bring a cannon down, have some fun. So we did, and the guys down there were saying, you guys should get your license. And Bill and I were like, how could we make this happen? So we were both raising families. Mama doesn't really like any money drawn out of the family account. So I own a car wash also, and there were 2 valves in this car wash that we had never rebuilt. And the company called me one day, and they said, there's these 2 valves that you have, and we were looking through the records, and you've never had them rebuilt. And I said, well, I just rebuild them myself. And they said, well, that's not possible to do. And I said, well, it wasn't very hard. They said, could we send you 6 valves? They were what they called normally open and normally closed. I said, sure, send them up to us. So they sent them up, and I'll admit, I went through them, and some of their valves were worn out a lot worse than mine were, and I sent 6 back, and 3 of them worked, and 3 of them failed. They said, well, that's encouraging, so they sent some more, and then I got a hold of Bill. And I said, hey, because he was a diesel mechanic, I said, there was a normally closed, and it's a valve. And I said, do you know how to fix this? And he goes, oh, sure, I know it was wrong. We had this included angle was wrong. So we went through them again, sent them all back, and they all worked. And they said, we could have a steady diet of this if we wanted to. And all of a sudden, we had an income that was separate from our family income. And we thought, well, this might work out, that we could go ahead and get our SOT and our manufacturer's license and start building stuff. So my wife, who worked at the car wash, would ship the valves and bill out for them, and they would come in from the company, and we would rebuild them. And we did such a good job building them that they said our valves were actually better than the valves that were new from the factory. Wow. And they wanted to know why. And I said, well, if you build something and you never rebuild it, you're never going to know what's wrong with it. So we were actually tweaking things a little bit so that they would actually last longer. And they said, well, would you start manufacturing these valves for us? Bill and I took one weekend and completely redesigned the valve so that they would even last longer than, because we knew all the places that they were weak, and build the valves from scratch. So I remember he always did the normally closed, and I did the normally opens. And over a weekend with some old manual machines, we built these valves from scratch, serial number 1 and 1. And we took them down, and they put them on, and they were very impressed with them. And they said, well, from now on, we would like you to build our valves, too. So I should never admit this, but in our first year, we profited like $42,000. And Bill and I were like 2 kids in a candy store, and we blew every penny of it. I mean, every penny of it went right out the end of a gun. And at the end of the year, Bill was like, if we wouldn't have spent all this money, we actually could start to build this into a real company. And that was in 92. In 93, we started being a little more conservative, but we still went out almost every weekend. The size of the company doubled, and I think without being mistaken, since that point, the company has either doubled in size every year, or some years it's almost tripled in size.
Wow.
So now we're at 13, and we bought Custom Seal. We have all of our CNC machines are new except for 2, and we also have another new one ordered. And we've moved facilities. We started out in a building that was 26 by 36, and at one time we had 2 CNC machines in there. Our office was in there, and we had, if I can't remember if we had like 5 people working in that space.
Wow.
It was, my wife used to press the phone up against her ear very hard because when the lathe would fire up, it was pretty loud. But then we weren't that way too long. We expanded. We built a 40-foot addition on, which we thought, we've got it made. We've had an area to build guns. We had the offices. We had the machine shop. And that was right around this time of year. It took exactly 1 week for us to outgrow it. And, well, now what are we going to do next? So we had done work for this company called Custom Seal. It was in an adjacent town. The people who owned it said, we're interested in selling this business. And then we explored that, and we decided, we should really buy that business. So we ended up buying another building and remodeling for Custom Seal. We moved it, then we remodeled the other end, and then moved Ratworks. And now we're all under one roof, and we've outgrown it. And now I really don't know what we're going to do, because we built an addition on a year ago, and we've outgrown that. So now I'm at the point where, well, what do we do? Do we try to level off, or do we just let it keep growing and try to cover more ground with building? It's been a good deal. When the housing market had a downturn, the cabinet manufacturing that I did for almost 30 years definitely went south. But it did it exactly at the time when the gun business exploded. And so I basically retired out of the cabinet making business and then moved right into the firearms side with the CNC machines, all the manufacturing abilities. Now you open up our wings and fly because, basically you can build anything you can imagine.
So let's talk a little bit about your MRX knives. What would you describe it as, a chain-driven knife?
Yes, chain-driven automatic.
I guess take us on that journey. How did you go from cabinet making to knife making?
Well, I was actually working on a tendon puller for a hand surgeon. When somebody cuts a tendon in their finger, it actually pulls back and it retracts through what the surgeons call pulleys. If you look at your hand, every time there's a bend, there's a pulley for the tendon. And that tendon, after it gets cut in half, actually swells similar to a piece of spaghetti and doesn't want to come back through the pulley. So what he wanted was something made that he could reach through the pulley, grab the tendon, and pull it back through the pulley. And then when he would pin the tendon through the pulley. And after that would happen, then he could baseball stitch those tendons back together, and the recovery time and the scar tissue and all that stuff was much better. So I got to thinking about it, and he says, this is what I need to do, and I need to do it with one hand. So I got to thinking about it, and I thought, almost like a dog catcher's noose would work pretty good. But the size is really small. So I started looking around, and he needed it to be autoclavable. So I started looking around, and I found some cable.
Autoclavable? What is that?
An autoclave is a device that doctors use to make their utensils sterile, and it gets very hot. So, and everything had to be made out of surgical stainless steel. So I got to looking around, and I found a cable that was it was stainless steel, and it was extremely strong, and it was very thin. And I found some stainless steel tubing, and I made this deal that actually was almost like a dog noose, a miniature dog noose, and it had a ball on the end that you could grab with your little finger, and then you could push with your index finger and your thumb. You could actually actuate it back and forth. You could push it through the tendon, grab the tendon, pull the tendon, pull it through the tendon, pin the tendon to the pulley, and then he could easily just stitch it back together. And because I was messing with these little cables, I thought, wow, this would really be a neat way to open a knife, because the current automatic knives with the springs that they have in them, they never really last that long. You know, you'll get 20 to 30,000 times that you open and close it, and then they break. And it doesn't matter who makes them. They're all the same way. If you could use an extension spring, you'd almost... And the other thing, automatic knives, if you look at them, the blades are always really light because they want them to open fast. So you could actually get rid of two problems. You could get rid of you could have the heavier blade, and you could have the long life. Well, one morning on a Saturday morning, I sit up in bed and I'm like, man, if that had a chain on the outside of it, a miniature chain, it would even be a lot better and look a lot cooler than it would with that cable. So I started looking for the chain, found it, and then the process started. And that was about 4 years ago. 3 years in development, and then I met Andy from Guardian Tactical and got together with him. He was trying to get a business started, and had him help finish up with the design, and we were off and running. And I have no idea how many we've sold so far, but quite a few, and probably, I think, 7 or 8 countries now. And we've got the full size, and we've got the mini. Blade Show last year, we won the People's Choice Award, and we've been on the Blade Show magazine cover in, I can't remember what month, a few months ago. So the knife has been a good success, and the next one we're coming out with is the ultralight. It'll be the same size, basically the sides will be as the mini, and the same chain as the mini, same bearings, same blade thickness as the mini, same springs. We use dual springs in the backbone. They're right and left hand wound so that they keep the dirt out, and their life is a lot longer. It was the first automatic ever made that had bearings in on the actual pivot, so the knife is very smooth. We use we actually make the bearing cages out of magnesium disulfide impregnated urethane, so they're self-lubricating. The moly just keeps leaching out of the bearings. They also have little walls that come up for the seals so that the dirt doesn't get in them. That come up within a couple thousand, so the bearing ball size of the bearings. The bearing balls are ceramic, so they won't rust. They virtually last forever. And we actually make those so that the bearing is suspended. Even though the bearing is only 1/16, it's suspended in that cage so that it's not actually touching anything. It's free to roll in the cage, but it actually does snap in. It holds it. And there was a lot of first in that knife. First chain drive, first extension spring, dual springs, and the bearings and the magnesium disulfide impregnated urethane.
Say that 7 times fast.
Yeah. Maybe it should have been an auctioneer, huh?
And they're completely made in the U.S. because you guys
they're completely made. Yeah, well, we don't actually make them.
Oh, okay.
We let Guardian Tactical make those. Andy helped finish up that design, and they were trying to get a business started in Pennsylvania, and we were very busy. And I said, you know what, you boys can go ahead and build that knife, and that's what they've done for us. We are very capable of building the knife. And but we do let them do that, and the patent is ours. But we let them build it. We're actually building a blade grinder right now, and we'll be grinding those blades in house very soon. But they'll still be assembled, and the sides will be machined in Pennsylvania.
And they also have a lifetime warranty.
Yes, lifetime warranty.
Very cool. Yeah, I held one of these recently and very impressed with it. Very smooth, like you said.
They're a lot of fun too. They look cool.
Yeah, they look awesome. Yeah. cool look, and you have a lot of cool designs to them, too.
Yeah.
You have, half a dozen or more designs?
Yes, we have, in the Mini, I think we have 3 blade styles. In the full size, I think we have 4, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not mistaken. And then different finishes, different colors. We also did a knife called the Nautilus, which was very Captain Nemo-ish. It was my favorite book when I was a kid, and the knife actually turned out very similar to the Nautilus, and tried to pull some of the attributes out. Even had an iris in the side that would open and close. It had the Ratworks logo behind it, and we're actually going to do some of those in the Mini very soon. The full size, we've got a few more of those, but then we're moving right into the Minis. They have Alabama Random Damascus. It's hot bath blued, so it kind of has the look of the ocean. The front of the blade has kind of looks like those spars off the front of the Nautilus, and then with the iris, and then all the rest of it is silicon bronze, which is really a different, it's used a lot in manufacturing, but it has a really different hue to the color, and it basically looks like the whole thing is riveted together, like the Nautilus was. And that knife turned out really good. I was impressed with it. Got some other neat stuff that I'm working on. Soon we'll be coming out with probably some different knives that had on the back burner for years. And once we get the grinding machine up and running, we'll be diving into them then.
Very cool.
Alien Gear Holsters, the most comfortable and concealable holsters on the planet, is offering big savings with our new 2-holster combo. Now you can buy 2 complete holsters for as little as $49.88. Choose from any available holster styles and colors for the guns of your choice. All of Alien Gear's quality products are made right here in the USA and include a 30-day trial, forever warranty, and free shell trades for life. Visit aliengearholsters.com today.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the new Ratworks ZRX Tavor suppressor.
All right. I know Sven Johnson from Manicore Arms, and I knew he was working on these handguards for the Tavor. And as soon as I saw the handguard, I thought, wow, that would be like the coolest thing to build an integrated suppressor into that handguard. So got permission from Sven to go forward and use his handguard, and I started working on a suppressor for it. And at first, you know how things are, you look at it and you go, well, this thing needs to be, like 8 inches long. And so I built the first prototype, and my original intention was you'd put the handguard on, the special handguard, and then you'd slide the suppressor core in, and you could leave the original flash hider on the gun. Well, that flash hider really throws that sound forward. The first 2 suppressors that I built, they were longer, and they were configured quite differently than the one that we ended up with. It just did not turn out good. I mean, they were loud, it was long, it was ugly, and so I thought, well, we got to go back to the drawing board. Well, we've built this what we call, it was the big chubby muzzle brake for the 308s for years now. There's a gentleman by the name of Curtis Wearies in southern Illinois. He was a Marine Corps sniper, and he took 5 years to develop this muzzle brake. Well, he had a machine shop down there work on it, and needless to say, the guy at the machine shop was a little less than honest with him, and he was selling them out the back door while he was selling them to Curtis out the front door. Curtis trains a lot of the FBI. If you name an organization, Curtis has probably trained them. He was talking to a gentleman that knows us, and he said, hey, if you wanted to have some guys that would really be up front with you, build that muzzle brake, go here. So he drove up here, and Bill and I are always fairly skeptical about stuff. Somebody tells us that they're going to give us, show us a muzzle brake that, has no recoil and no muzzle rise. I'm pretty skeptical, especially in 308. So I told Bill, I says, yeah, everybody always expects you to shoot like 100 yards, and I said at that range, I can see where something like this would work. So we went to my parents' farm, and we have 750 yards that we can shoot there. We put the target at about 450 yards and pulled the trigger, and the gun didn't move. It literally at 450 yards, there was only maybe an inch at the target of movement out of it. So we were pretty impressed, and we said, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll build it, and we'll market it, and we'll give you a royalty. So we did, and that's gone along very well. And they sell all the time. They just keep selling. And we decided to build one in 223, which works very good also. And in that process, in the problems I was having in this Tavor suppressor, I thought, that muzzle brake, even when we build it right away, I was like, wow, if you can put this in a suppressor, it would be incredible, because how it works is as the bullet goes past, the gas is going faster. The gas is pulled back at an angle and pushes the barrel of the gun down and pulls the gun forward at the same time. And to get those angles just right, that was the real key, and the louvers the right size. And I thought, if I could put that in that Tavor suppressor, it would do two things. It would act as a blast baffle so that it wouldn't wear the aluminum out, and it would also create turbulence, and it would also slow the gas down. And I thought, that would work. So went out to the machine. Luckily, we were in the process of building those, and rethreaded the back end for the 9mm, the half 32, is it, or 36? I can't even remember right now. And I got in the machine and started building the suppressor. I went through several design changes there before I actually built the one that we have today. When we took it out and shot it, shortened it up a lot, it was really impressive. It's really impressive with subsonic ammunition. And with the handguard, the baffle stack, and the little chubby in there, the heat sink is pretty good too. And I mean, you can shoot the thing a lot before it gets hot. It was shot all day at the bullpup shoot, and I didn't get a chance to go up there and shoot it till the end of the day. And it was warm, but that thing had been shot 3,000. There had been 3,000 rounds put through it that day. Got it home, took it apart, and there's virtually no wear. The little chubby does exactly what it's supposed to, and the only thing we had was a little carbon, and the suppressor came apart really easy. Anybody that has ever messed with a suppressor knows that that's probably the biggest nightmare that there is trying to get one apart after you've ran it, especially after you've ran 3,000 rounds through it. You're going to beat them apart with a hammer. Well, this dropped right apart because of the way it's made. And to my knowledge, nobody's ever made a suppressor like this before. And very successful. And we've had a large amount of orders for them already. And we're currently in production on those.
And that's for the 9mm, right? Yeah,
that's the 9mm. Now, the 5.56, we're probably going to start working on. I've got some other stuff that I've got ahead of it. It's going to be a lot harder task. It's not going to be nearly as simple as the 9mm. Not that the 9mm was that simple, but comparatively, the gas pressures and everything we're dealing with in a 9mm or in the 5.56, they're enormous compared to the 9mm. But I still think it can be done. I still think we'll probably use the little chubby muzzle brake in it. There's several reasons why. I think I think it would actually be imperative to use it. I think we'll definitely see a 5.56. Maybe before next year's bullpup shoot. it might be that long till we can actually get to it.
It seems like you're really onto something. Do you see expanding into other platforms for this type of suppressor?
Maybe. Definitely in the bullpup industry. Because already the guns are short. They usually have, they're a little wider. Maybe in the AR market, maybe. I years ago, I actually dummied up a long handguard and was looking at the logistics of putting a suppressor in a handguard then, but the tube size and everything, I was worried about the heat and other things come along, and I just, I got sidetracked from it and never revisited it. But, I think it's, I think the fact that it's shorter and it has more volume is better. A long cylindrical tube. I mean, the two things that you're really trying to do with a suppressor is you're trying to slow the gas down and you're trying to cool it off. Well, what better way to do that in the creating turbulence is very important. If you can move that gas back and forth and around and spin it, change directions, and then get it against something that's more mass, it's going to cool faster. I think it's a good idea, and I think anywhere that you could somehow integrate that idea, I think it would work good. Definitely.
Very cool. That's something that impressed me the most at the bullpup shoot was that suppressor made it very enjoyable to shoot. I mean, it's enjoyable to shoot either way, but made it extremely quiet. Yeah,
it really gives it the wow factor.
And it just looks cool too. I mean,
well, I think IWI must have liked it, because Monday they announced that they were going to build 9mm dedicated guns, and we got our first shipment today. So, and I'd ask them several times, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And then the suppressor comes out, and Monday they do it.
That's awesome.
And it was they had kicked it around, and then once that suppressor came out, they saw that it was going to be it was going to be a better deal, and decided to go forward with it. Kind of pushed them over the edge. Wasn't 100% of their decision, but it was that straw that broke the camel's back, and they said, "Yep, let's do it."
That's awesome. It's really been great talking with you, Al. I mean, you shared so much about business and knives and suppressors, and I'm afraid to ask you any more questions because I think you tell me about how you invented a rocket ship or something too. So
there's a lot more.
No, it's awesome. I love it. I love the business side of things, and I know the listeners do as well. So what's I guess in the future of Ratworks?
Well, every day you wake up and another door opens, and you never know with that place what's going to happen.
I love that. I love that mindset. That's a great mindset to have.
Yeah, it's incredible. You can get up thinking one day that, well, this is what's going to happen today, and at the end of the day, you can just go, oh my gosh, can you imagine? Do you believe what happened today? Not always good,
right?
But normally yes. Normally it's a joy to get up every morning and go there. I feel like I'm on vacation, and you get to build all this cool stuff, and I've kind of had a life of doing stuff that normally people do as a hobby. I've done as to make a living, and I've been very fortunate. I used to, a lot of people wake up, hate their job. I don't. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's something I'm working on building. Same type of thing where I come to work every day and love what I'm doing. Well,
that's what you have to do. You have to work towards that. You have to, at a certain point in your life, you got to go, well, I don't really like what I'm doing today, but every day I'm going to work towards doing something different. And it doesn't come without sacrifice. I hate to say it, but, my children are grown, since, it's probably been the last 5 or 6 years. We work 14 to 16 hours a day. We spend a lot of time there. It's tough sometimes. It's a lot of time to work a day, and it's gone on that way for like I said, for like the last 5 years. And if you didn't like what you're doing, you couldn't do it that many hours a day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate.
Are you hiring any interns? I'm just asking for a friend.
Not right now. We're not. We've had interns though. I've had a mechanical engineer from Bradley that worked for us for the last 2 summers. I had a gentleman who is in medical school. He's in his last. Let's see. He's got 2. After this year, he has 2 more years, and he's a doctor. And then I did have another intern, Bill's daughter, who is an eye doctor now. So we've had 2 doctors, and the one gentleman's not a doctor yet, but he will be in 2 years. And Bill's daughter is an eye doctor. So we have had some interns in the past, and have them usually through the summer. But I don't know where we're at with that this year. I don't know how many of them are coming back. I think maybe the gentleman that's in Bradley might be coming back. And I don't know if it depends. Even when you're going to school to be a doctor, you're still broke till you're a doctor.
Well, I think we better wrap this one up. So if people want to find you guys online, where's the best place? www.ratworksusa.com. And I think if you just type in Ratworks, you're going to find us. It is RATWRX, like the Skunk Works. And that's the best place to find us. Very cool. Well, Al, you'll have to give me a heads up next time you're going to shoot a car with a cannon. I'll be
all right. I think we've kind of given that up. It's a lot of work, and you prepare and prepare and prepare, and then you go out and shoot for a day, and it's a terrible amount of work.
I'll bring the car. Come on.
We used to run them off the stone quarry walls too. That was pretty cool. Take the throttle and punch a hole in the hood and run a wire up from the carburetor, and then leave the door open, throw the thing in gear, and tie the steering wheel fast with the seat belt. Slam the door shut. It opens the car wide open. Man, I'll tell you what, there's nothing like running a car off a 70-foot stone quarry wall.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Where have you been all my life?
Just down the road.
Yep. Awesome interview. Awesome time talking to Al. Big shout out to Al and the guys at Ratworks for letting Al come on the show and setting all this up. I'm a little bit disappointed to hear that, Al, you no longer shoot cars with cannons. I think I was born 20 years too late or something, it sounds like. But so anyways, Duluth Trading Company helps make this show possible. That's right, Duluth Trading Company, the makers of manly workwear and a whole line for tough women, outdoors women, real working women as well, like long-tail T-shirts for women and for men as well. I'm really enjoying my Shoreman's fleece jacket this chilly time of year, and actually I just put on my Duluth coat as well. It's I've been wearing the men's Firehose fire hose Iron Range winter work coat, which is an awesome heavy coat. But check it out, gunguyradio.com/Duluth, where you can find great manly workwear that is really comfortable, really fits well, and lasts a long time, and comes with their no bull 100% satisfaction guarantee as well. And let's talk a little bit about Patreon. Patreon is the easy way to crowdfund this show. Crowdfunding, you might think of Kickstarter or something like that, but this is a way to crowdfund content that comes out on a regular basis. So you can pledge $1 an episode, and it be your way of helping out the program, helping keep these shows coming. They're 100% free, and at the $1 level, you get 2 stickers, the Firearms Radio Network sticker. These are big, glossy 4x4 outdoor stickers that you can stick on the back of your windshield, or back of your window on the back of your car, not the windshield, or the Gun Guy Radio sticker. You get both of those. If you pledge at $5 level, that's where you get a very cool morale patch. This first run, next run, about 3 months from now, we're going to do probably a t-shirt, and the next run we'll probably do a hat or something like that. And so we'll rotate through different items like that, branded Gun Guy Radio or Firearms Radio Network as well. But there's this first round, we have really cool Gun Guy Radio patches that 4 Guys Guns made for us. So those are very cool. And if you pledge at the $15 level, the Battle Box level, you also get these other perks I just mentioned, but you also get a big box full of swag, such as big-ass bricks of soap from the Duke Cannon Supply Company, have their big-ass manly bricks of soap, and you get big ammo can with 5 of those. And then also LA police gear, you get some bailout bags, a hat, tactical flashlight, very cool stuff. Also an LA police gear patch. And then gungoddess.com, you get a $25 gift card, all kinds of awesome perks for being a $15 Battle Box patron. So, and also a bunch of random swag, like shirts and hats from different firearms companies, and other things as well. Too much to mention here. And using Patreon, it's an easy way to crowdfund the show. And also, there's milestone goals where I'm looking at when we get to the $250 level is when we start doing the classic Gun Guy Radio roundtables again. And then when we get to $500 level, we're looking at going ad-free, listener-supported only, which would be awesome. And then $1,000 level is when I'm going to finally say, take this job and shove it, and quit my dreaded day job, and you'll see an explosion of productivity and new content and great things coming out of the Firearms Radio Network when that happens, because I'll actually have time to do things like this. So check it out, patreon.com/gun. And if you're looking for awesome graphic artwork, check out Ryan Cross, Hunter of Design, hunterofdesign.com. If you need logo design, website design, any design, check out hunterofdesign.com. Well, that about wraps it up. Please share your thoughts by leaving a comment on the bottom of the show notes at gunguyradio.com/145. Please subscribe via iTunes so you never miss a show, or use one of the other apps. We have a Firearms Radio Network app on Android and Windows phones, or use the Stitcher Smart Radio app on any device. And also consider joining the Second Amendment Foundation, or NRA. I am a member of them both, and collectively they do things, great things that we as individuals just can't do, but to preserve and expand our Second Amendment rights. Don't forget to shop Brownells and Amazon by our affiliate links. Just look for those affiliate banners on the website or bookmark firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. Especially this holiday season, buy your significant other a nice, AR-15 handguard maybe from Brownells, or you can get anything under the sun at Amazon as well. So don't forget to check out the other shows on the Firearms Radio Networks. Listen and subscribe at firearmsradio.tv/iTunes. Well, that's a wrap, and we'll be back next week. See you then.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv. Load and make ready. Are you a competitive shooter or aspiring to be one? Want to get into the fun and exciting sport of practical shooting? Check out the Power Factor Show, the only video podcast that covers IDPA, USPSA, 3-gun, and sporting clays. Go to PowerFactorShow.com or search iTunes and your favorite podcatcher app for Power Factor Show. Are you ready? Stand by.